When Walt Disney World opened in 1971, the Magic Kingdom didn't have a Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Disney figured that Central Florida was so close to the real Caribbean that guests wouldn't want the Disneyland attraction. They were wrong. So very quickly they rushed to add the ride, opening it to the public in 1973. Disney World's version of Pirates isn't the first version of the ride, and it certainly isn't the best version either. But it is unique in that it is inspired, in part, by a very real fort in the real Caribbean. In Disney's book on the franchise, Pirates of the Caribbean: From the Magic Kingdom to the Movies, it's stated that the fort you walk through in the queue of the attraction and the fort Captain Barbossa is attacking is inspired by Castillo de San Felipe del Morro in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Now, beyond just being inspired by the fort, the actual signage at the attraction matches. So, depending on how literally you want to take it, you could argue that the town you ride through on Pirates of the Caribbean is San Juan. So with that said, has the actual San Juan ever been sacked by pirates the way the Caribbean town is being sacked in the ride? The answer is no. But also kind of, but mostly no. That iffy answer is due to the difference between a pirate and a privateer. To put it simply, a pirate was lawless. They attacked whoever they wanted, and they pillaged, and they plundered, and they rifled, and they looted. As a result, pirates were pretty much universally hated. A privateer, however, was essentially a government-sanctioned pirate. They did the same kinds of things pirates did, but they had a nation's blessing to do so and focused their efforts on the ships of an enemy country. So to answer that question more specifically, San Juan was never actually attacked by pirates the way it is in the ride, but it was attacked by privateers on a few occasions. For the most part, however, the attacks on the fort and town were carried out by other nations who wanted control of the island. At that point, Puerto Rico was considered the key to the Caribbean, and the Caribbean was considered the gateway to Mexico. The Spanish, the French, the English, the Dutch, you name it, they all at some point had, or at least tried to get, control of Puerto Rico. The one attempt that perhaps most closely resembled the scenes of the Walt Disney World attraction happened in 1625, when a Dutch armada of 17 ships, led by Bodwin Hendricks, attacked San Juan. The fort had actually been recently upgraded at that point, but wasn't properly staffed, and so Hendricks and his armada were able to make their way into the bay with only 4 casualties. Considering how much both the fort and Barbossa miss each other on the ride, it probably looked something like that. The next morning, the Dutch stormed the town with 800 men and faced almost no resistance. Seeing the writing on the wall the night before, the Spanish had retreated to the fort to defend themselves. Over the next 21 days, the Dutch battered the fort with over 4,000 cannonballs, trying to get the Spanish to surrender. After a surprisingly impressive defense that levied some pretty heavy losses for the Dutch, Hendricks issued an ultimatum: surrender now, or the Dutch would burn San Juan to the ground. San Juan's governor at the time refused, declaring that, quote, "we have enough courage and wood and stone to build again." So, following through on their threat, Hendricks and his men burned the town to the ground, amounting to 96 buildings before packing up and setting sail. Between the losses and razing the town, it just wasn't worth it for them anymore. San Juan essentially had to be rebuilt, but ultimately the Spanish maintained control of the island. The fort would continue to grow, and it wouldn't even be the last time it saw action. The English would attack it in 1797, and in 1898 the United States would attack it as part of the Spanish-American War. Now, there was one time recently that pirates showed up in Puerto Rico, and that was in 2010 when Disney filmed a couple of scenes for Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. The fort itself wasn't featured. However, it did get some screen time about 13 years before that, when Steven Spielberg used it as a filming location for parts of Amistad. Let's be honest, Pirates of the Caribbean was never an accurate depiction of piracy in the Caribbean. It would be silly to look at it as any sort of history lesson. It exists, like most Disney rides, as a cleaned up and family-friendly take on the subject. That said, it's pretty cool that these attractions draw from real history to do so. It adds a sense of authenticity to that family-friendly experience that makes the ride more immersive, and it's a testament to the talent of the Imagineers, both past and present, who make it happen.